All right, all right, all right. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. All right, all right. So, brothers, as we get on board here, as we get on board here. Oh yeah, there we go. Um, okay, now we're set. I if you will, don't forget to check the description box because there is some doozy of information in the description box. All right. There is some information in the description box that I'm like, wow. So let me point some stuff out real quick. Some of the things that I was interested in is that I know you can't hardly hear me because I'm turning away from the mic. But one of the things I was interested in as I was researching stuff is with all this unfaithfulness of the man, it's never been about us because we don't mess up our own seed. We don't mix up the seed. And I explained scripturally what was meant by mixing up the seed. Hold on. Colloidal minerals. Well, hopefully these minerals will give me some minerals. Get rid of all my juice. Okay, so I'm gonna have a special guest today, the brother DC Rob. All right, now this brother right here can tell you anything you want to know about Medellin, Colombia, in the way that I can tell you what's going on with Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. All right. The way I see Rio from the what do you call it? When I look at Rio, I see it from a tourist thing because some of y'all been there with me and y'all see what I do. Y'all see the children that I go and try to help out and train in some things. So y'all see all that. So I'm used to seeing the real grit, right? I'm used to living and staying and working amongst the grit. So when I speak to it, it's more rounded than say your average brother that's touring and stuff. And there is some secrets I could tell you about how to pros and non-pros, right? How to deal with some of the females there. The places to eat, what it's going to cost you, right? And so in a way that I intimately know Brazil, this brother here knows Medellin. And the reason why I am bringing it up, because there are a few brothers that was having some concerns All right. And I wanted them to get a balance. They're trying to make up their mind, Brazil or Medellin, or Brazil or Colombia. All right. And like I put in my things I like about Colombia, right after I put in my why I wouldn't want to live in Colombia, and then I put why I would want to live in Colombia, right? Um, I think what we wanted, um, I think what a lot of brothers wanted was that comparison that I just couldn't give myself, because there's a lot of ins and outs. I don't know if he will take questions, all right, but there are a lot of ins and outs, right? And so I tried to answer as many questions for these brothers as I could, based on my experience right now. But I was thinking, let me get somebody else on here. All right. Let me get somebody else on here that can give more insight than I can at the moment. All right. And so I hit this brother up. And so whenever he decides to pop in, that is when we will begin that segment. So whatever I'm doing at the point, I'll end it kind of. And I wanted some of the brothers, like this Proverbs 13. Uh, I don't think that's him, but I'm just looking at some of the I'm looking at some of the comments. I'm trying to find. Okay, this is it. So let's see. I'm letting the brother know that I'm live now. And as soon as Rob is able to, he's DC Rob, uh, DC, DC born Rob, he'll let you know. All right, he got a nice channel. He's been following the case of the brother that was assassinated here in Colombia. Okay, so a lot going on here. All right, a lot going on here, and there's some things that's going on here that I'm dealing with that was kind of expected. All right. All right. So basically, I got a lot going on the last video I put up. But anyway, so basically, so that's what we're going with. All right. But before we head into all of that, I wanted to have a live discussion on a more pertinent thing that's going on. And right now, that is this so-called battle between Kevin Samuels and Dr. Boyce Watkins. Now, first off, I'm going to just say this, and I'm just keeping it real. This crap shouldn't even be a discussion, but it is. All right. It is a discussion. This thing here is a discussion because, again, you got somebody spitting the truth. All right. You have somebody that's telling the truth about the precarious situation that an Afro man can get himself in. And what's happening is that the females that are given allegories about the what ifs, all right, the hyperbole, I call it, all right, but they will come up here and give their what ifs, and they will give a what if scenario that clearly defies the current life that they are living. They will be the rule that we are talking about. And then they would give a what if. Well, what if it was somebody that was not like me or my friends? You know, the hypothetical, the hypocrisy. I call it the hypocritical. All right. But that's what they give. The what if. The what if scenario. And the problem with their what is scenario is that their what if is to get you off of the fact that they are the thing that we're talking about. They are definitely the thing we are talking about. The very one that's saying, hypothetically speaking, like one of the big ones that they give. Hold on for a second. I'm going to plug in my other hard drive. All right. And I'm going to do it because I'm going to give you the other BS that they give you. But the picture I want to use, the picture that I want to use is on my other hard drive. So I'm going to hook it up. Dang. Had the cord for it right here. All right. I'll give you one of their hypotheticals. And while we don't need to listen to any of the BS coming from Dr. Boyce Watkins or any other dude that is talking his mess. All right. So I'm going to find the picture real quick. And I want pictures. All right. And so basically, there was data that they did. All right. And we'll give you one of the hypothetical questioning that will come up. We've been saying that the BW has destroyed, understand this. Move this to desktop. We've been saying that the BW have destroyed much of the Afro population through abortion. We have been, and when I say we, I mean my channel, we have been saying that these women have been destructive to us. They have been taking the lives of our children. And they've been able to get away with it because every time they cry out after destroying us, even though we sit there and watch the lives go to hell in a handbasket, we have some of our weak-minded leaders, and they are self-professed leaders. All right, so they're not real leaders. That because we didn't make them leaders, the Caucasians made them leaders. And the Caucasians made them leaders is because they went and told the Caucasians, we will do anything to our community you want us to do. All right, for this piece of paper. Basically, that's what happened. So as a result of such a thing, a lot of Afro men started to go along with a lot of the negative programs and negative inferences that people had to say about the Afro man, because quite frankly, we didn't know any better. All right, this would include me. The reason why I am doing this live, and I wanted us to pretty much have a discussion, is that some of you might not be very clear on my background. My own family isn't even as clear about our family background as they should be because of the influence of knowledge from our mother. The problem is I'm older than the rest of my brothers and sisters. So there was things that I saw that they could not have seen. All right. There was things that my mom said to me that they don't want to believe. But if you look at the condition of how the family was left, you had to believe it unless you're in denial. And a lot of us get into denial. We deny the truth. Understand this. We will deny the truth. Because we don't want to make mommy look bad. In the same way we don't want to make mommy look bad, we will help mommy persecute daddy. Why? Because we are taught that mommy is weak. And physically, that's true. Physically, that is a true statement. Mommy is weaker. But what we didn't understand is daddy's strength was used to protect the family. And the reason why a lot of the hurtful things that happened to us happened was simply this: the family was without protection. Why was the family without protection? Mommy wanted control. So, in order to gain control, she had to get rid of the protector. But as children, we don't understand this. But see, that's how the government used the BW against our fathers, against us once we became fathers. And even now within marriage, when you marry, you put yourself at risk of losing more than half of what you have. And when we put priceless on children, I want y'all to think about that. You know the thing, children, priceless. When we put that on children, then it's worse. All right? It's worse than that. So basically, you got this big beef going on with Kevin Samuels. You got this beef going on with Kevin Samuels and Dr. Boyce Watkins. And it's a manufactured beef by people who want to get views. All right. What happens is when I meet people and they talk with me for a while, I'm going to just say this. I've not asked people to follow me. I've asked people to speak on my platform when I think they have something to offer that's greater than what I can do. Because in the Army, we have a thing that somebody can be a subject matter expert, even though you may be the leader. So you're the leader, but they're the subject matter expert. Well, what does that mean, subject matter expert? That means that on this particular subject, they know way more than you, and it would behoove you to give a listen to them. All right? That's what that means. It would behoove you to give a listen to them. And the reason why you would want to give a listen to them, because then you can make an overall informed decision about some stuff you want to do. Why? Because you have heard from the subject matter expert. You got a lot more information than you could have gained on your own. Bada boom, bada bing. It's a win-win. All right. So that's where we go with that. When we talk about, all right, let's say this. I am particularly intuitively against any man that is a good man taking care of another man's seed. And again, one of the dudes tried to make, now I want y'all to understand this. One of the dudes tried to make this jacked up poor excuse for Dr. Boyce. Well, he didn't. He said, regardless of even him feeling that, well, he had a good stepfather. All right. Regardless of that, his family lifestyle wasn't that great to where he felt lucky his stepfather was there. Let me put it to you that way. All right. So basically, out of being tired of all the BS that they're talking about, the other thing we must discuss here is a lot of stuff that they're referring to in this battle is some BS made up stuff where most of the brothers, if we're really wise, right, we already know what the deal is. If we are really wise, we know what the deal is. All right. And the deal is wicked as ever when you really want to really put your finger on what they are trying to do. This is some wicked mess. And it's wicked from this standpoint. I'm about to show you some data. And I want you to pay close attention to this data. All right? I want you to pay close attention to this data. And I want you to pay attention to what they wanted you to think and see. All right. See if I have it here. Yep, there it is. All right. If y'all want copies of this data, again, hit me up on my email and I'll send this stuff to you. All right. Hit me up on my email and I will send this stuff to you. All right. 1. The New York Times and the CDC understood, always knew, and had to admit and have shown that for a while, the whole time there was fathers, that this country, through the BW, have been lying on the Afro man and our involvement with children, with our own children. Understand this. They have been lying on the Afro man when it came to our involvement with our children. So let me close out and say this. Most Afro men do not follow Kevin Samuels. And what a lot of these weak-minded men don't understand is that most Afro men like to watch Kevin Samuels' videos because his videos show in real time the BW saying and doing things and admitting the things we always knew, but could never get them to admit before the court. It's like this. It's like this. If you watch this, A Few Good Men, the court scene on A Few Good Men, the BW is the colonel. Kevin Samuels is the defense attorney Tom Cruise. He takes his drink of water and understands that there's some stuff that we all know. All the evidence suggests what we already know, what all the brothers know. The problem is that these women will lie and lie and lie, understanding that if they lie on the Afro man and about the Afro man enough, that they'll get even the elect to believe the lie over the truth. So he's the first one that's like that lawyer, Tom Cruise, without the phrase, you can't handle the truth. But to get them to open up enough, get angry enough that they spill all the beans. All right? They spill all the beans before all the witnesses who has freeze frames, who can save the videos. All right? And over again, we use what this 24-year-old was taught. We will use what she was taught because she was taught it. All right? We will use what she was taught because they taught it to her. Y'all remember what she was taught? Hold on. We're going to come back to this right here. How do I want to do this? Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this or not. I'm going to go for it. And we'll come back to the picture in a minute. I'm going to go for it, but all right, I'm going to play a little bit. Okay. Let me know if you can hear it.
Because they understood that the black woman and the black man are on the same side. Now they have all free to do whatever they want to. Why would we seek to, be one with the black man? We can think that.
Were y'all able to hear that? Were y'all able to hear that? Let me. But were y'all able to see what she said? Hold on. Let me see if I could do this another way. For some reason, I wonder if I put up one of my own videos. Some reason it was low. Okay. But okay, I want y'all to see because he writes across the board what she says. Because it was kind of low on my end also. Let me see if I can raise the volume a little bit. Okay, just look at the bottom.
Because they understood that the black woman and the black man are on the same side. Now they have all free to do whatever they want to. Why would we seek to, be one with the black man? We can think that.
So she said, why would we seek, to be one with the black man? This is why I tell you, we must leave them alone. Now, the other reason I tell you, we must leave them alone, because the whole time they was telling us all this negative sh about the Afro men, in order to try to prove that everybody was right, that the Afro man was just that terrible. They had these studies. The problem with these studies is it showed that the Afro man was better and more involved. We're in the orange. For the most part, then if we was compared to the Hispanic man and the Caucasian man. And when they looked at everything, talking about the father that was living with the children and fathers not living with the children, in both categories, the Afro man came out ahead of the Caucasian man and the Hispanic, to the point that they came to the conclusion that the Afro man was either just as involved as the Caucasian man with his children, or even when he was being kept from his children, he had to fight harder, and he was still more involved than the Caucasian and Hispanic. Now take the narrative, the negative narrative of the BW that says, no, these men were, the Afro man is just no good. He's foul. He's no good. That shows you they've been lying about us for a while. They've been lying about us for so long, it's not even funny. All right, let me greet everybody real quick. Hey, Dwight. Hey, Semper Fi, Texas Marine. Daniel, what's going down? Semper Fi, USMC vet. All right. Hey, what's up, Lamont? Space Rice Krispies. Hey, what's up, your boy K? All right, Blackwoods Rider. Shalom, brother, shalom. Let's see. Who else? Daniel, what's going down, brother? Hey, young boy 24. All right, so that's what we have in here. All right, so here's the thing. The Afro female, the BW, had been involved with the Caucasian male since slavery. All right, so come on. Until 2013, at least until 2013, they have always dated and married outside of the race more than the Afro men until 2013. 2006, they married outside the Afro man twice the rate that Afro men married outside of the BW. All right. In today's marriage rates, the Afro men not only had caught up to the BW as having the ability to marry outside of the community. And keep this in mind. This was something that the BW supported. Loving versus Virginia. First interrace marriage by license. All right. But remember why we said the license, the marriage license was developed. The marriage license was developed because some of the white men wanted to marry the black men during the 1920s. Remember, we went over this. All right. Look at the video with the marriage license. So what they did was they said, well, this is illegal in the United States. However, we will give you a license to do what the United States would otherwise consider to be illegal. So the white man was able to obtain a license that would give him the legal means to marry a black woman if he so pleased, meaning that the Caucasian male has always had access to the Afro women. And there was a period where this access was shut down. Under manumissions, they were giving the black woman slaves and plantations as property. They were leaving it to her and not the Caucasian woman, because by law they couldn't leave it to the Caucasian woman. They would leave it to her or the children that they had from the black woman, which would be the mulattoes and all of that. But we don't believe in mulattoes here on this channel. We believe that you are who your father was. So let's call them the children of the white man. So he entitled the land and slaves to his children. And well, that's what he's supposed to do. They're his children. Slavery is his legacy. So he's going to pass it down with the woman that he was bound chicken wow wowing and the woman that gave her the children by which he can transfer that wealth. All right. Now we get to the laws where they outlawed manumissions. Then the Civil War happened. And even throughout then, the Caucasian men had access to the BW. Remember, we had many of fathers and uncles that were lynched by the Triple K crew because they were called to the home by the BW because she was having an affair with one of their members. All right. And remember, Birth of a Nation was the re-rise of the Triple K crew. All right. And so this whole time, the BW had used systems and crews of Caucasians to destroy the fathers, the husbands, and stuff. Now, this isn't all of them. But this was enough to keep Afro men pretty much shaken in the Afro community because they didn't know how they were going to be betrayed by the BW. All right. So this is stuff that we've discussed on this channel. It's up in videos and all the evidence is there. All right. So now we get into this beef where people are trying to get Boyce Watkins to go against Kevin Samuels because people have the erroneous belief that Kevin Samuel is saying that men shouldn't date single mothers. That's not Kevin Samuel's mantra. What he did was showed you exactly why you shouldn't do it on a much massive scale than what I could have done. And on a much massive scale than what I was doing. All right. And so when we get into this, one must understand that people are trying to put people against people partially for views, partially because this is a dog eat dog kind of system that we're living under in the Black community. Partially because people want the Afro man to continue to do things that is not working for us. All right, and a Space Rice Krispie. Space Rice Krispie. I think what you having is Tommy Sotomayor is beefing with all the people that got more views than him. Dr. Boyce Watkins is beefing with people because they're starting to educate the Afro man, and the Afro man is starting to not follow the narrative that he's trying to put out or others like him, because we're starting to understand that the narrative that Dr. Boyce Watkins is putting out belongs on the plantation, needs to stay there. All right. And that most of the Afro men do not trust the BW in the United States anymore. So that's why you have so many guys traveling, leaving, seeking women in other countries. All right. Tommy Sotomayor, he sees people cutting into his money. So now Kevin Samuels he's battling with Kevin Samuels because Kevin Samuels is passively sucking the air out of everybody's views. All right. Some of the brothers he ain't hurting, brothers like me. And he's not hurting us because we were never greedy for attention. We're trying to get a message out. So basically, what Kevin Samuels have done for my channel and for me is he's validated every bit of information that I have put out. All right. He's validated it. All right. So I'm not going to sit up here and fight the man, even though I had and have questions about Kevin Samuels, but I didn't go on. I came after him about asking somebody about their D size. A grown man, no man asked him. But with that said, and in that, I was surprised at how much he knew about women's dress sizes. All right. So outside of that, though, I really wasn't beefing with him. And people kept sending me stuff, and I was like, well, dang, he's not saying, he's asking questions again, like the lawyer, the defense attorney. He's like Tom Cruise to Jack Nicholson. And these females are like, you can't handle the truth. The reason why we don't like it. Oh, so you don't like the Afro man. The reason why we feel that we should be able to destroy his family and children. Oh, so you do. Okay. All right. These are things. All right. Then where am I at? Okay. I'm trying to just get everybody's comments up here real quick. All right. So these are things that people have been going through. All right. The brothers have been going through. All right. So you saw the first lie. Hey, what's up, Hunter Red? Right? You saw the first lie about us. Okay. Now let's look into this beef a little more. And I want to know what y'all think about this. And at this time, now let me say this, at this time, if you want to come on and comment on these things, all right, you can. All right. And I will guide the commentary with brothers that really understand what's going on with this. Yes, you are who your father is. Stop thinking about color, race, or anything else. All right. You are who your father is. And if you want to know who the white man is, ask him. He'll tell you, oh, well, I'm German. Hey, what's up, Captain Marvel? Okay. We just say white man because in general, we don't know. He can't say black man because I'm not from the land of Crayola. I'm not going to be a crayon. What's up, Rolando? Power man. Gee. All right. So basically, everybody, and they're doing their job. Boyce Watkins is doing his job. When they see other men start to gain respectability to the point where we start thinking monolithically, in a way that's going to benefit us as Afro men as a whole, then the handlers of this system comes in and tries to shut that down. They're going after Kwame because he's making the basketball circuit talking heads industry looking bad. CNN already looked bad because of what I told you Fauci was about. I put that information out before, and I had to take it and put it on another source because YouTube was blocking it. All the stuff they're just finding out now, I told you that back in January 2020, probably 2019 when this stuff first started. All right. And so yeah, Kevin Samuels is an image consultant. I don't care what these people did. All right. It's like Tom Cruise, the lawyer. He's a lawyer, right? He was trying to get some off the woman. But when it came to court, his trying to get some off this particular woman had nothing to do with his performance of getting Jack Nicklaus to say, "You can't handle the truth. Because deep down, you want me on that wall." Dang, I should have been playing that. Lord. Hey, hold on. Back in that time, they gave us the other one. So, what's up, brother? What's up? Okay, so, hey, I don't know. I have suspicions about what this man do behind doors, but not enough that I'm gonna look into it, and not enough for me to care. All right. What I can see is he asked the right questions, and like that lawyer got that dude to admit, yeah, I gave the code red. Okay. Here's the thing. The Afro community is at war with itself. What's up, your boy K? It is at war with itself. Finally, understand this, y'all. Finally, we are at war with ourselves. Finally, we are now at war with ourselves. All right. We are finally at war with ourselves. Let's see. I got lost somewhere. All right. Finally, brothers, this is a good thing. The Afro community is at war with itself. Finally. And it is a beautiful thing. Why? Because some of us that's been seeing the wickedness that's been doing in our children, we've been saying it for a while, but we've been out by ourselves saying it. Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that Captain Marvel. Can't put it up here, but I saw it. And then she tried to hurry up and snatch her out. All right. But we are finally at war with ourselves because enough of us have awakened and decided we're going to fight for what's right. All right. Houston area, man, Houston. All right, we're going to fight for what's right. All right. And that's basically it. And so now the armies are finally together. And in this battle, right here, in this battle, now, as we decide to present evidence, see, because the reason why we wouldn't fight for what's right, we wouldn't fight for ourselves, because we was taught to believe all the negative stuff about ourselves. And then when the brothers start putting up the numbers of who was actually sleeping with whom, and that most of us wasn't responsible for all these children running around that wasn't getting no money, that whose daddies was going to jail. At one point, people believed that the majority of the Afro male population was felons. Turned out to be less than 12%. Okay. It is the first time it is at the scale it needs to be, where the powers that be see that the Afro men that want to be good men are finally going to stand up to the weak ones, and that we will no longer listen to their puppets. Their puppets don't know what to do, is because Kwame and Kevin Samuels are taking off at the same time on two different ends of the spectrum. Back in 2017, they was able to shut down, like, I don't know, 50 of us in one sitting. The BW got a group on Facebook, and they went and they targeted nothing but Afro men and start shutting us down. And then, surprisingly, they got a couple of men to turn on the Afro men and help them shut them down. And these dudes would make phone calls, like I got one from O'Shea, threatening us that if we don't stop our content, that we would be shut down. See, their problem is that I will mention this to everybody so they know who you are, O'Shea. That's your first problem. The second, you thought I could be bought by a system that I thought was wicked to begin with. See, the reason why I gave all my stuff, all the money I made from YouTube and stuff, back to the community in some way, shape, form, or fashion, or communities outside of the United States, was because I thought it was wicked money to begin with. All right. If you want the truth, right? So when we talk about this battle between Kevin Samuels and them, all right, you got to understand what Boyce Watkins want us to accept as normal. Well, then it'll go down. But the damage is done. Here's the other thing that Dr. Boyce Watkins understand and stuff. The damage that Kevin Samuels has done is done. All right. Now, let's break some stuff down real quick. Because, brothers, now that we see who the BW really is, all right, let's not get it twisted. Now that we see who they really are, we should not get it twisted. All right. Uh, E. Mm. Hold on for a second. He hasn't had a chance to check it yet. Hey, bro, pop in whenever you can when you get a chance to check this. Okay, I gotta deliver a message to some. Amor. Amore, mira aqui. Uh, Hold on. Um, oh, she's not here. Okay. All right, so let's get back into this. I was trying to let um ah mira aqui.
Espérate.
Uh-huh.
Ok, ok. Envíamelo, por favor.
Okay.
Ok.
Ah, eu não tenho seu e-mail. É, enviar-me seu e-mail em WhatsApp.
Ok.
Okay. Okay, so, all right, so, okay, here he is. Before I go into my thing, let me do this. So for all the brothers, first, let me get out of this. All right. Um, for all the brothers, hey, this is DC Rob, y'all. Okay.
Well,
So, hey,
how's
what's
it
up,
going,
brother?
bro? Nothing, man. Sir, it took me so long. I got stuck on my live.
No, that's okay. So this is DC born Rob. DC Rob, tell them who you are.
I am DC born Rob, DC Rob, whatever you want to call me. Originally from Washington, DC, but traveling is my thing. Ended up focusing on Colombia and predominantly on Medellin, Colombia. And so I'm always putting out videos and struggling to keep up with a case of an American who was killed in Colombia right now. But that's it. All about Colombia right now.
Okay. Hey, did you hear about the other one from yesterday? Not yet.
Somebody let me know. I just asked, who is it? Somebody said an American YouTuber in Cali was killed.
Yeah, in Cali. And I don't know who yet, but I was talking to somebody while I was out on the basketball court, and they said they will get me some information tomorrow about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I was wondering what that was all about. All right. So the reason why I got this brother here, and like I told you before, as soon as he come here, I'm gonna cut from this to go into this because a lot of brothers are trying to get out of the matrix, or to get out of Babylon. And there's another curious thing here with me, and that is my relationship status. And there's something I'm starting to pick up here that is different from Brazil, and hopefully you can help me with that. As in, one of the reasons I believe that if brothers was looking for a long-term mate, that Colombia would be a spot, right? But anyway, this is the remember I said we like subject matter experts. Well, this is my guy on Medellin and Colombia as a whole, but Medellin specific. So for you brothers that was up in the air, that's why I told you to come to this live. So because I wanted him to speak to y'all in a way that I cannot. All right. And so he'll do Medellin. I'll do what I know about Colombia. I mean, about Brazil, because it's going to be Rio and Medellin. Those are the two hot spots right now that people are trying to get to. And then you can make an informed decision, right? For what you may be looking for, this, that, and the other. So, brother, tell us a little more about Medellin and why you specifically like that, and some of the ins and outs brothers should look at. But we want to know what you specifically like about it, because you're better than what somebody's going to write about it. You go back and forth all the time.
Well, a couple of years ago, I moved there and lived there for 3 months. Not too long, not too short. Just long enough before I moved back to be with a girlfriend and kids. Main things I love about it: cost of living is low. The weather is amazing. I mean, they do go through their rainy season, but the weather is, being able to leave your doors and windows open all night long, amazing for me anyway. Again, back to the cost of living. The people are extremely friendly. The culture is nice. There's always things to do. You're in the mountains. The views are good. If you're lucky enough to get a place with a view, you can stay there for not a lot of money. You can actually live there and, with some sort of retirement or Social Security or something, for very inexpensively. And it's close. It's near. For a lot of people, it's one flight. For me, it's two. I'm coming from Houston. But I love everything about it. Right now they're struggling. The country is struggling because of the lockdown for the past year or so. It's wide open now as of a couple of days ago, though. There's no more PCR requirement to enter right now. And the curfew has been dropped in Medellin. So I was just there 4 weeks ago, and it was a curfew. Now it's not. And the virus is as worse as it's ever been. So I don't get what's going on. But a lot of people go, a lot of the guys go, especially the younger cats. I'm an older cat. But the younger cats go for the ladies. You got Brazil too. I heard they're good looking too. So, there's guys that go down for that. But again, I go down just for that peace and solitude and brotherhood too, because there's a lot of brothers in Medellin. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but there's a large Black expat community in in Medellin. And a good location to go to would be Sweet Georgia Cafe. They have 2 locations there. And it's like a hub of anybody who wants to learn about Medellin. Once you need your cedula, you need insurance. You know, do I need insurance to get in here? Is there a curfew? What's going on? And there's always that information there. But again, my main reasons are cost of living, weather, you know, just nice people, the culture.
All right, let me ask you this question, because this is honestly, this is something that I picked up. So, like, my language, second language, almost becoming my first language is going to be Portuguese, because I hang out in Brazil, all over Brazil. But as y'all know from my videos and stuff, I hang out mostly in the favelas, mostly at the NGO. But it's fun to me, right? Because as excited as the children are to see me, they don't know I'm just as excited to be there, because it's like life. It's just life. A bunch of children and life, brothers and life. Life that can be taken by one errant shot, but you know you living. You know you're living there, right? It's a community that cares about people that care about children, right? Now, when it comes to the lady things, because that's why people travel to Brazil. I said this about Brazil, but it doesn't seem to hold true in Medellin. It's like the opposite. This is what DC Rob, this is what I said about Brazil. If you're a brother that look like me or you, but especially me, if you go to Brazil, the type of woman that you end up with is not going to look like me. It's going to look like the supermodel that you see in the magazines. Pretty much in Brazil. Because of some of the customs that Brazil has had, its history. So I know Brazil's history very, very well. And then the fact that we all talk about it together when we're in Brazil, there's some history where a lot of the mothers brainwash their daughters into not choosing a darker man because you improve the race by lightening it up. There's no such thing here in Colombia. I am saying that it's the ones that look like me. I'm just saying the one that look like me, they're in the screen right now. Probably can't understand much of what we're saying. But dude, this woman was like, you know what I'm saying? It don't happen like that in Brazil. They don't come at you like, yeah, I want you. You know what I mean? They don't come at you. Those type don't come at you like that in Brazil. So what I was going to ask you is the culture thing here. Is there more of a brotherhood amongst the Afro population? What is that all about? Or am I reading too much into it because of who snagged me up?
Well, because of where I stayed and where I hung out at, again, Sweet Georgia Cafe, I'll throw out the name. And he has a sports bar, and they're both restaurants, and you can drink, and just the camaraderie and the information for expats is there. So for me personally, I'd have to say it's strong. But I see cats going down, they go up to Parqueadas, which is like the hub for nightlife, and they act American. I don't know if you know what I mean by acting American, but
yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
They don't humble themselves.
That's why they're having problems. Here's the thing. I'm in Barranquilla, and two things I do. I'm a Flamenguista, inside out. And so they laugh at me at the hotel because they know I'm American. I speak English, right? But they see my team is Flamengo, even here in Colombia. I don't wear Colombia shirts, right? And everybody from Colombia is cool with it. I saw another guy in a Brazil shirt, right? And the guy said, well, what do you think about Brazil, the team? If you playing Flamengo, I'm running with them, right? All right. And so he said, so you're Flamenguista, right? I said, yep, that's basically what it is. So basically they like that that I have my team, and that's my team because that's my team. Even here in Colombia, they know I'm American, but I don't act like American. I act like a human being, right? I meet friends on a basketball court, and they my friends, and they understand my Spanish is not that good, so they start speaking English. So everyone is aware that I'm American, and they treat me the people treatment. I get gringo, but not by the people. It's mainly the restaurants that want to hide their prices. But I had something on them. I go other places, right?
Mhm.
But a lot of brothers, I see them getting caught up in game. I know what the game is. And I was like, they looking for people with that American mentality. Those are the brothers that's getting caught up and getting. I didn't know the dude was a YouTuber. And I just tell brothers, just act like a human being. Act like you're in somebody else's house.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
that. That's
unfortunately, when you're in groups, it changes the dynamic. So whereas you may act appropriately by yourself, sometimes you get in groups and you out drinking. And I mean, I
that's
see
why I
some
don't hang
stuff
around.
and it's like, makes me ashamed to be American sometimes. I've seen some stuff.
Yeah, me too. I know this stuff exists. That's why I don't hang. We had the same problem in Brazil. All right. We got there's a group called the favela. They done turn the favela tour, right? And I was like, that sounds very exploitive, dude. I was like, why you want it? But you know, some people want to just be like, yeah, I went to a favela, but they don't go because if you want to go to a real, come help me. I'm taking microscopes to where I'm going. Come help me. You can help me sell. You might not be able to teach anything. You could help keep the children calm or something. You can help me if you want to go and want to do something for real. All right, it ain't gonna be like really, really safe in a photo op. Ain't gonna be the photo op that you want it to be. But so Colombia, that was my thing. I see a lot when dudes get into groups or they get overly comfort or they forget that this is somebody else's home. That's what I
Exactly.
see.
That's a good way to look at it. I never looked at it like that. Like you're in somebody else's home and act appropriately. Don't people come and they feel so comfortable, they think they're in America and they're not, which means they think they're in their own home and you're not. You're not.
Mm-hmm. And
And if
so
you don't
they
speak the
go
language,
Rick James all over your couch. And that's what they're doing. They're basically Rick James in the couch.
mhm.
And don't expect the Charlie Murphy to happen after they Rick James the couch.
Mhm.
All right. Only they ain't punching your legs out. They bringing and I'm like, wow. And so basically, because the woman that she's from Medellin. All right. So the woman I like, she's from Medellin. All right. I noticed that there was some games here that's kind of different from the one in Brazil, right? Brazil is if it's pay to play, it's just pay to play, right? They come in by themselves, but that's what it is. They may tell you this, that, and the other. No, but I can't pay to play. And they come in by themselves, but because they're attractive and stuff, you just go with the flow, right? Here, I noticed that it's something different, especially on these dating sites. There's been a few people that tried to get me. One tried to get me to rent an apartment. I was like, oh, hell to the no. Oh, it's a cheap. It's my friend that got one. I was like, but we meeting on a dating site. No. Before I came here, right? When I got here, I haven't heard from them. There was somebody else that wanted to meet me somewhere, wanted me to pay for a taxi, hey, pay me a taxi to come see you. No, I'm not interested in you, right? And there's a lot of these games like that to get me to leave my comfort zone and go somewhere or do something somewhere where they know I'm a newbie. What's up with those kind of games here?
I can't tell you that. I've never dated there. But I mean, I know enough from reporting on Colombia for the past 2 years. Don't be going in a neighborhood that you're not familiar with. And don't, when they invite the second girl, you mind if my girlfriend comes over with us? It's time to go when you hear that. Because I don't know about Brazil, but they have scopolamine in Colombia, which is also called the devil's breath. And they can blow it, they can put something in your drink, and next thing you know, you go blank for like 6 hours a day. And again, two days later, you butt naked on the curb. You have no idea. And all this stuff has gone out of your apartment or your hotel room, and you walked them in. You signed them in. You took them up there, told them that's my friend, and they just asked you, hey, where's your money at? In the safe. Well, what's your combination? 3, 42, 17, and you give it to them. So you got to worry. And from what I'm told, you need to run as soon as you hear them say, did my friend come over? Because why are there two? I don't know. I've never dated there. I've never done any of that. When I went, I was single.
Look, they tried that scam. See, here's the thing. This is what I tell y'all. All right. When I say I live by the commandments protect me from a lot, right? It helps me to see BS, right? So if I'm not simping, just trying to get the first thing in the skirt, right? Then you're gonna be all right. Use your head. All right. Why would I want two people over here with I only want to talk. I ain't trying to hit nothing. I only want to talk at the restaurant. You see what I'm saying? I don't want you to come up to my room. I don't want you to know what I have. I want to just talk to you because I want to get to know you first. Before we go any past, I don't know you from a can of paint. Right? So that's what I say. Why would I want to talk to you? Why would I want you up in my room? I don't want you up in my room. I use the hotel because it got a public thing, but let her know she's just a guest in this restaurant. You see, I don't want you to know what my room number is. Right? They asked me for the address to where I am. Right? That's the other reason I didn't get an apartment. They asked me for the address to where I am. Oh, yeah, I'm at the hotel. Right? That's why I picked a hotel. It's security purpose. They are less likely because they know I would have to invite them into the hotel. But I'm not doing that. Right? And so I tell them, I'm getting a hotel. I'm not getting an apartment. What about Airbnb? I'm not getting an Airbnb. This is my first time. I'm not that comfortable. And so I told the woman this. And when I got here to Colombia, I never heard from them. As a matter of fact, when I told them that I'm getting a hotel and I already got it, from that, the day I told them that, while I was in the United States, I haven't heard from them. All right. And so I was just letting brothers know that when it gets down to it, you really, really, really have to watch your back. Because, I mean, the stuff you were saying, dude, I didn't know it, but that's what they tried to do to me. But I was like, oh, no, I didn't know that this is how they did it. Right? Mm-hmm. But I was like, no, because my nature is like, no. Hey, Rashawn says, hey, what's up, Rob?
What's up?
Can you see this comment?
I can't see it. It's kind of small. Let me see. Now I gotta lean in. Hola, Rob. Tell me, please. And mi español es habla muy poco, okay? Pero yo trato. Can you sit? Okay.
Si mucha gente together los Oribas in Colombia.
Odiada.
Hola, Rob. Tell me, speak for a favor. No es cierto que si mucha gente los Olivas in Colombia.
Yeah, I think he said, do you feel that many of the people are ugly in Colombia? Is what that looks like to me. Odio is ugly. I don't know what odiaba means. We're ugly in Colombia. I don't know. Mi español, and that's another. You know, when you move there, if you don't speak any Spanish, that's the three things I teach when you go there and other Latin American countries. First thing, speak Spanish. Second thing, learn Spanish. Third thing, learn Spanish. If you don't go like me, I understand enough to get by. Okay, so, and I'm comfortable with that. But I would not go down there. I know some people can't speak anything and their enunciation is poor, and you will struggle. The struggle is real. But you know what? Let me jump right quick. You mentioned something about the hotel room, and it made me think of something. when you go in a hotel, I guess your whole point with the hotel is there's somebody at the front desk. But you can get an Airbnb with a guard at the front desk too. Almost same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get that card at the hotel, you know, your key card, do I have a card? I used to save them up. Yeah, here's one right here, man. I had like hundreds of these things saved up.
Mm-hmm.
When you get the card and it's enclosed in that little case, and the little case says room 342, Hotel Sebastian or whatever, throw that away. As soon as you get to your room and you know you're in 1342, take a picture of it, and throw that thing away, and do not take that thing out of the house. Because if anybody catches you in the lobby, and don't gotta be a girl, anybody catches you in the lobby and all they gotta do is pull that, and you just gave them the key to everything you had.
Uh-huh.
And they walk right in the room, you know, with the key, they can show it and walk right in your hotel room.
All right, and that's a smart thing too. Now, I will say this. If the front desk don't recognize you, they will check your behind at this one. All right, there was a dude, he came in and he said, I'm going up to my room, because the dude checked him. He was like, sir, what room are you staying? And he was like, gave him his name. So he went and checked them in at, all right, but the dude did belong here. But what I do always, one, for another sense of security, one, I take the thing and leave it up in my room, because it usually have the Wi-Fi code in it, but I don't need it because I put the key thing in my wallet, right? Because I carry the wallet on me. The wallet don't tell anybody, and I take one credit card, right? I take one credit card. I take my military ID. I don't take my passport, all right? And you know, a lot of times people don't want to F with the military ID from the United States, saying that they're in the United States Army. That's going to be a bad deal. And I use the ID as ID here. So for those that have the retirement, you can use the ID as an ID here. But besides that's my safety thing. I do that here. I do that in Brazil too. All right. Brazil is not that much of, they don't do that thing that you say in Brazil. Now in Brazil, I wouldn't go out to the club just drinking all like that, because they'll rob you right there in Brazil, you know. All right. If you walk alone at night up a dark hill, talking about, and you drunk, yeah, they'll rob you there. But here I'm very cautious, and I have practices that I have in place, because like that's my military thing. This first trip is like recon for me, and I already have a woman, so, and she's coming to see me tomorrow, so I'm not trying to get nothing here. And that's the other thing that we'll get back to. All right, that's the other thing that I wanted to get back to, is that when you have somebody, and that's why I recommended coming to the, when you have somebody, just having somebody keeps you out of a whole lot of trouble you don't want to get into. I'm going to just say that, because you don't need to get into, because you got that somebody that's going to, you know, do what they do. You know, she's going to do what they do, and happy to do what they do. That's another difference. Happy, look forward to being with you and stuff. And I was like, wow, I have not seen that in the United States in all my life. I've seen it in Brazil. All right, I've seen, I had a lady friend, but then the stuff she was doing at night while I was asleep, I was like, I had to leave that alone. But anyway, this one woman was crying when I left, happy to see me come and sad to see me leave. And so it's like, it's not like in the US where they just growl at you. So that was one of the things I liked about here too. But yeah, what else? I mean, in your stays and stuff like that, do you know about any of the other areas, like historical, like where people can go safely to see some stuff?
In Medellin?
In Medellin, and say Medellin, and you know about the slave, the first place to free slave in Cartagena. How much do you know about Cartagena?
Not much at all. I just discussed, I just had a young lady actually get held at the airport for the past 24 hours. So I had her on just not too long ago. I've never been. I heard it was hot and it make you sweat. I don't like sweat. I don't want to take a shower every 30 minutes. I don't like people pestering me to buy stuff either. So yeah, I have never wanted to go and still don't want to go.
Okay.
That's just me. People love it, you know.
So Medellin, how do you navigate the nightlife?
I mean, I didn't go out. I mean, it's relative. Keep in mind now, I'm 58 years old, so I'm not out partying, you know, like I used to. I went out and had my drinks and all, but I made sure I was with somebody if I did. But the two main areas that people go to there are Parque Yeres and Poblado. And it's a huge, it's a park, like a 4 square block park, but then blocks away, nothing but clubs and restaurants and bars. And a few more blocks up, there's an area called Provenza, which is still in Poblado, but it's high end. I mean, like you would think, I can't say Beverly Hills, but you know, really, really nice area. And then on the other side of town, you can go to 70, which is 70th Street. And it's just one long strip of restaurants, bars, clubs. And then there's offshoots everywhere. There's 33 for like a younger crowd. There's one long strip. And I mean, that's it. And I mean, you can get outside the city limits and go to some other places. But for the most part, everybody wants to go to Poblado. Everybody wants to go to Parque Yeres, and mostly the younger cats anyway, for the prostitutes. And it's for no reason to look, but that's, yeah. And you know, when I first went, I didn't know it was legal. I didn't know they were prostitutes. I thought, why are these girls all standing around? There's like 3 girls standing around talking. Yeah, and looking at you, hey, and then they would talk to you. I walk by sometimes and they say something, companion, something. Companion, I don't know what they're saying, but you want a companion.
That for the brothers, how safe is that though, really?
I mean, again,
in Medellin, in Brazil, it's really safe.
Well, I mean, with age comes wisdom, and I'm in a relationship, so I'm not going to run into that, but I watch, so I know what goes on.
What have you heard?
Yeah, I mean, these are the people who are getting drugged, first of all.
Okay.
Those are the people that are they call it getting scoped. And again, they can blow it, put something in your hand. Some say you put it in your nail and they wipe your face and boom, just like that. Oh, wow. It's that powerful. And one of my guys told me that he and his friend got drugged, only his friend had a high tolerance for it, so they kept giving him more and he died. So you can die from this too. And this is happening every day, because how many times it's happening to people that they don't report it because they're embarrassed. Yep. So, but it's going on. So it's dangerous. If you want to say probably the most dangerous thing you're going to do there is deal with a prostitute, I would assume. You know, that's just me being an older cat. You younger, you take more risk. You out partying.
But it looked like it's seen to be a lot of these younger dudes that's getting that are getting robbed and stuff like that. And now we're starting to dig into the source. I'm starting to see some of the sources to a lot of the problems that I see here. You know, talking to you enough, and now I'm starting to see a direct difference between Brazil and Colombia. Brazil is 9 to 5. Their women are 9 to 5, right? And basically, you're going to have you'll probably find a girlfriend there quick anyway. Now, the girlfriends things, like they're flaky in Brazil, and not flaky that they won't show up, but they're like short-timing girlfriend. They're like beach girlfriends, you know, like the beach blanket bingo and stuff. Very rarely do you find one that just want to have something permanent. You know what I mean? They're like temporary, and then the next, And that might be the fear that they feel you're going to leave in 2 weeks. So I'm not going to get my heart all into it and stuff. Because that's another thing. I noticed that dynamics changed while I was there when people understood only after I left that, hey, brother, you'll be on after the brother speaks. But it was one of them things where you was here for this long. I told you I was coming back for this long. Then they was upset with themselves, but not me, because they didn't believe me. All right. And so here, like right off the bat, I wanted to stay here longer because of who I met, if you know what I mean. And so it seems like here, for some reason, I was weary of that kind of the professional side and stuff like that. And in my spirit, something said, stay away from it. So I did, you know. So thanks for that piece of information, because I think that right there alone of everything helped a bunch of brothers out just now.
The best thing I can teach anybody or advise anybody is to, again, 3 things: learn Spanish, learn Spanish, learn Spanish. If you don't speak Spanish, the struggle is real. From the time you land, you'll know you in a different land.
And so, and my Portuguese actually helped me with the little Spanish that I needed to know. And my Spanish is very little. It'll probably increase by a lot after these next weeks with me being with my lady friend here. But yeah, it's really important here, because not too many people speak English, and even the people that speak English will pretend that they don't, and then they'll pretend. Hold on. Then they'll pretend they don't understand your Spanish. Okay, that's the other trick that they use to try to get over on you. I just slickly walk away from them people and don't deal with those people. All right. And people like, why? I said, it's the principle. When they said, well, they're not it's not much money. I said, it's not much money today. But if you let people do that, sooner or later, you'll be drugged. You'll be in somebody's trunk or something and stuff. I've just been having a just nice, smooth time here, and happy with who I'm talking with right now, you know. So yeah, you brother, let me say this: you might not have put people on game, but the game you put them on was not to get involved with the game here.
Unfortunately,
if you know what I mean.
People, they're gonna still do what they want to do. So, you know.
Well, this is a different group of guys over here. Okay. These are guys. Not only do they listen to advice. That's why we're glad you're here. But if you come back, they'll probably be able to repeat the advice back to you that you gave. All right. Some of the stats that I put up about what's going on, some of the stats that I put up about like my job in the military the whole time was I was a lab tech. I worked in the research lab. I ran a medical lab. All right. Not as an officer, but as an NCO. All right. And so ASCP certified. So when this virus came out, I was so far ahead of where they are right now. It was ridiculous. And everybody on this channel could tell you that. All the stuff that they're saying, this is new. I was like, no, I posted that, but YouTube tried to block us. I posted on Rumble way back in March. When the CDs, way back in March. Oh, we believe this is the lab leak theory. No, hell no, it ain't a theory. It's exactly what happened, because we knew this way back in January. We knew that the Chinese killed 2 of the dudes that was trying to tell us way back in January. We kept those reports. That might explain why some of the stuff is going wrong with my hard drives. But I saved my stuff on external hard drives also. So I still have those videos. I still have those documents. I still have the CDC report, you know, because, man, And so, yeah, these guys, and even with some, I got a brother here. I ain't going to say who he is because I know other people watch my channel that is not regular people. But this guy, he copies stuff that I put down. So I may not have it again. But I could go to them and get it back. That information that we had way back then is out there now. It's out there, and I'm small fries, but I'm pretty sure some bigger fries is exposing this too. Me, I care about what's happening to the brothers, to the community, and what's happening to our children. The other guys can worry about what's happening to their government, you know. But yeah, the stuff that you spit, look, yeah, he said a lot of dudes take and steal a lot of information from me, but it's okay. It's okay. The words getting out. That's all that matters. But there's a couple brothers that watch my channel that save information. So there's a lot. There's couple dudes that saved all my old videos that YouTube tried to have destroyed about Clinton and all that. So, I'm just, the brothers on this channel, they'll be able to repeat it back to you. If because like I said, you have personal knowledge. Plus, I knew your research thing. I knew how you go in on news. I knew how you ask for details about stuff. And I was like, this is a brother, if he says some stuff, even in conjecture or in opinion, his opinion is greater than, say, the facts of CNN. I'm just saying.
No.
No. CNN.
I do the best I can.
All right. I said CNN on purpose because they have no credibility whatsoever. They used to have, when Bernie Shaw was there, when Bernard Shaw, they had a lot of, CNN have absolutely zero credibility right now amongst like a great deal of the population. We're talking liberal or especially after all the stuff came out about Fauci, people are really upset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you, like I said, you carry some weight because of your knowledge, because you're there, and because of the perspective. You like, I'm this, have a woman, but this is what I see. This is what I know. Hey, that's good enough for us. And Sweet Georgia Brown, right? Oh,
Sweet Georgia Cafe.
Sweet Georgia Cafe. So if I plan to come to Medellin, all right, and stay there for a while, what is the best hotels to get?
I mean, there's a lot of hotels, and there's a lot in Poblado also.
The area.
Well, I'd say Poblado or Setenta will be your best. Poblado is where I stayed. I stayed half of that a few weeks ago. I stayed at the Dan Carlton, which is a 5-star hotel. But when you were talking about, they stop you at the reception, wherever the front office is, but they let you walk in. If you got a key, they don't even know if you got a key. I walk straight in, walk up to my door, and it's a 5-star hotel, but it's nice. It has the little restaurant up top that turns around real slow.
Okay.
It's a really nice restaurant. Hotel. There's a lot of.
So that's Poblado.
Nice.
See, I wouldn't have to worry about much, is because I have somebody I deal with, and that's probably the only person that's going to be coming up in here.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of me.
Yeah, as long as you don't bring. Yeah, and if you stay with somebody else, you got a lesser chance of getting got anyway.
Yeah. And so that's why, I say to each his own, but I don't go nowhere in large groups. I don't mind when you brothers come to Brazil and visit me. I don't mind when you brothers come here, because I trust y'all, but y'all come in onesies and twosies. Y'all don't be like, man, we don't have enough guts to just go, so let's all go as a group and act out. No, I don't have time for that. So Poblado. So there it is. So if you want to go to Medellin, and is that where the Sweet Georgia Cafe is?
They have two, one on either side. One, Setenta is in Laureles Estadio, and then Poblado, he has another one there. It's Sweet Georgia Cafe and Sports. So I'm sure they are there right now, and he's always got events. 4th of July is a big picnic. Man, let me tell you something. The food, I don't know how he gets Colombianas and Venezuelans to make the food, but if they can make mac and cheese like that and some collard greens, bro, man. I mean, I've never had collard greens. I don't like vegetables, so collard greens, man, this food is good. I don't know how he does it, but again, it's a resource hub, you know.
So Poblado, Sweet Georgia Cafe in Poblado, because I'm gonna go to Medellin. I'm going to Cartagena to try to see if I could visit with the people that were the first independent slave city in the Americas. But outside of that, yeah, I'll spend much more of my time in Medellin. And so InDriver, is Uber a good idea there?
I take Uber. I use Uber, but that's just me. Some people use InDriver, or there's a few different options. But I mean, it's already set up on my phone, you know, but I have a driver there too, so.
Okay, see, and I have a driver that I met on InDriver, so but I like Uber because it's a level of security.
Safer.
Is a level of security where you can see exactly where you're going and where he's supposed to be going.
Yep.
All right.
And how much? Yep.
All right. So, yeah. So a young Cuban woman. All right. So yeah, that man, that's basically what we wanted to hit you up for. We know you just got done with a show. So man, if you have anything left to say, it's yours right now. The floor is yours.
No, only thing I would end on is, well, first, thanks for having me on. Go enjoy the culture. Don't take advantage of it. Learn Spanish. Be safe. It is a real, some people are really struggling there now. And desperate people do desperate things. Hence the reason I'm having to deal with Mr. Reed being murdered out in Kia. And thanks for what you've helped me with too. But yeah, just be careful. If I can instill any information in you, is be careful and don't trust too many people. Be careful.
On that end, let me just say this. What surprised me is when I asked a lot of people about if they knew about that, you know, I say, hey, did you hear about the American that died here, got shot in the head with? And everybody was like, oh, no, haven't heard about it. It happened here in Barranquilla, but didn't make the news. Oh, no.
Well, it made the news for one day, maybe two, and then went away.
Yeah, that's surprised me. Yep. And I said that it did what it intended to do, because nobody really paid attention. And 1-2 days, and I was like, oh, okay. So that's how that goes. I was really surprised. Huh?
It'll get handled, and we're going to keep pushing until there is a positive resolution for the family.
Yeah, but at least the thing is it's really shut down. I was like, yeah, something's going on here, or something is not going on here. But it's like, you know, it's like people think it's a haunted house. It's shut down like that. It didn't look like there was no business there for a while.
Well, I know they pulled the metal things down at night, the lock. But yeah, when they closed, yeah, they were only night seat anyway. I don't see how they closed. I don't see how they were closed. Why they? But we're still dealing with it.
Yeah, but they were closed. They were closed at night. They was closed during the. I was like, man. Well, I'm gonna see again with all this, with everything being lifted. With everything being lifted, I'll, get somebody to buzz by there again and see what's up.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the work, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on tonight too.
All right. Hey, man, no problem, man. Brother, you may have saved some lives here that you don't know about. I don't know about. You know what I mean?
Well,
There's some
Spanish
decisions
save your
people thought
life.
they was going to do. There were some things people thought they were going to do. They're probably second guessing now.
We'll do that.
Okay.
Do that. Okay.
All right. Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother, for showing up.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
All
Take
right.
care.
Peace.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now. Okay. Hold on. All right. Now, I'm going to open up the floor. So I hope y'all got something out of that. So back to the regular subject matter at hand. And I'm going to open up the floor and we're going to discuss how the rest of this stuff is going down based on what we. So this is up. So the brother that was asking me to come in, buzz in. Don't forget to turn your mic and don't forget to select your mic and camera. I just wanted him to speak first because he's coming off of his own channel. All right. And so you could buzz on in. And so I'm gonna continue where we were. And one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to present. Did I just get rid of somebody? Okay. I wanted to present something real quick so that in all our getting, we get an understanding. All right. And so when I hear you pop on, brother, or whoever want to pop in, and only two people. So if you see another person, if you see one person pop in, then another person pop in, wait, and then we'll hit you up then. All right. So basically, this is what we have. We have a man that went after a woman who had a bunch of children from some men who told him to just keep moving against a man who's asking some question and getting the BWs to expose themselves and what their real heart is towards the Afro man. All right. At first, it was funny because people thought, well, this is all about image, which he's an image consultant. But then it started to get real when the BWs start to explain that they really don't give a damn about the Afro man or his offspring. And in case you didn't recognize it, when these women said that the best place for the child is with them across all races, and this goes across the world, the best place for a child is with a couple, the biological father and mother. The worst place for a child is with a single mother. The very worst place for a child, as you can see. The very worst place for a child, as you can see, is with the single BW, right here in the middle. And this is in the United States. This was as of 2014. And it's gotten worse since then. Keep this in mind. The single Latino mother has a language barrier to deal with. And that her baby has a better chance with her than the BW. Everybody's child has a better chance. The Afro man is best to be with the Afro man. All right. So this is across all races. It is better to be for the child to be with the father than the mother across all societies, regardless of race. Let me do this real quick. Let me flip this. Okay. I want y'all to understand this, and then we'll show you how we get here. Remember, I told you about those hypotheticals. All right, the hypothetical question. Who's the brother that kept wanting to be in? Come in here. See if I run across them. There was a brother that was trying to get in here. I sent the link up for anybody that wanted to join. Was that? No, it wasn't Lamont. Hey! Boa noite, meu amigo! Tudo bem? Ah! Meu amigo está aqui. Meu amigo está aqui. Olá, Francisco! Me brota para mi outro moto. Morrer. Madre. Ah, que bom, que bom, que bom. Ah. Ok. Ah, meu amigo. Ah. Como é esta Selminha? Francisco, Selminha, tudo bem? Oh, Wise Nubian. A Wise Nubian, if you want to roll, come on. Hold on. I just sent you the link. So Wise Nubian. All right, if you want to come on. All right, so this is the time. I sent the link in. Saudade também. Não, eu pensando muito sobre Nong, Vila Aliança, muito saudade de crianças aí. Okay, so let's get back to, all right, so let's get back to this, right? All right, so remember the hypotheticals. All right, Wise Nubian, if you're there, the link is up there again for you to come in. All right, so this is what the BW does. So when we talk about we want to find a different crop of women, because we don't like being or having to choose from a group of females who are okay with the destruction of children. Oops. Because we, the Afro men, are starting to look at it as murder. And we have to look at it as this because this is the single most vital reason that the Afro community is going extinct right here. The issue is that the Afro man always believed that the BW was the greatest thing to ever happen to children. Why? Because that's what we were programmed to believe, even though we were the ones that were. We had always been the protector. We had always been the provider. This is the trick that they use to separate us from, or separate really the children from us, because that's really what they did. They wanted to separate, remember the Willie Lynch letter in my video? They wanted to separate the child from the father so that the mother will train the child. What would the mother train the child to do? Follow the government the way she does, instead of the father. Then they gave the BW power over life and death when it comes to a baby in their belly. And 98% of the abortions that they had were due to personal choice, unwanted, or inconvenience. Then they said, well, what about all the rape? Of the 98%, only 0.3 was due to rape or incest. 1.7, life or health of the mother. See, they always had us believing some crap that didn't exist. When they go into everything, all the choices are theirs alone because it's their body, their choice. They will try to say, it's everything else. But all right, they will try to say it's everything else, but it isn't. Not ready for another child. The child timing is wrong. Can't afford the baby right now, but she can afford to sleep with Pookie and Ray Ray. Completed her childbearing. She got other people depending on her, or the children are grown. So it's that these women with 30-something forms of birth control laid down with some thug who couldn't take care of a child, or some other dude who couldn't take care of a child, with whom she did not want to give the child to. And that's the whole thing there. And none of this didn't feel mature enough to raise another child. Would interfere with education, right? interfere with education, possibly affecting the health of the fetus, physical problems with my health, was a victim of rape, husband wanted, parents wanted, don't want people to know I had sex or got pregnant, other. We put this up. Proof, again, that these women were sleeping with the same dudes. On the left, you have the new HIV. This was as of 2010. And keep in mind that their population was 13%. And they had more new infections than all other population of women combined. We get into the child thing. The same excuses. And that's why everything looks so black and so bleak for us in the so-called Afro community. All right. This is the people that they want us to defend. These are the women that they want us to marry. They don't want us to find somebody and have our own seed. Understand this. All right. And this is something I'm not with. All right. Hey, what's up, JOI? Ah, what's up, Brand? Okay. They look like some of my old school. Ya está, en el dominio. Estaría, no Brasil. Ah, yeah, entiendo. Muito tarde aqui. Muito tarde aqui. Estou dormir depois me vídeo ao vivo. Dormir bem, Francisco. Obrigado para vir no canal. Okay, so this is where we are, people. All right. We are in a place where we got jokers. We are in a place where we have jokers that do not have the community's best interests at heart. Because understand this, you cannot be for a community when you want the community to cater to the very females that try to destroy it. How do you do that? You can't say you're for a community that caters to the very thing that wanted to destroy it. Hey, that's why I keep the name the same. They figured, well, if you're going to keep the name the same, we just won't pay you. All right. But I want to say this. All right, brothers. They want us to understand how the puppets of this system work. We are finding out it is a wicked thing to be with women that do not value the life of children. It is a wicked thing to be with a woman that wants to compete with you to be the man of the house. It is a wicked thing to be with a woman that does not know her position and will not submit to your authority as the ruler, not head, the ruler, not 50-50, the ruler. Yes, I mean sovereign. The king, the primary judge, and the rule maker of the home. That's who you are. That's the position she wanted to steal from you. These clowns like Boyce Watkins are trying to get us to go back to the very thing that was destroying us for the past 50 years, right? That did not work and devastated us to the point of near extinction. All right. And I say near extinction because a lot more brothers are waking up, because now, I will say it, we are at war with each other. The righteous brothers against the wicked ones over new community. And the battle is simple as this. The righteous brothers refuse to let the wicked ones keep carrying this narrative without any pushback or fight. And so we're having that fight. Go ahead, real wise Nubian. What's up, man?
Oh, peace, brother. I actually came in on the wrong widescreen. I mean, live stream, but it's all good. I can talk to you as well. Uh, it's good to
What?
see you still making it happen, and it's good to see that you're bringing out the real. Brothers need to go where they need to go outside this environment in America, to find the proper woman that will serve, work with him, and listen to him and participate with him in a positive way. They don't want to do that anymore. And so it's very difficult for people like ourselves to participate in that nonsense anymore. I was on another um, stream talking to the brothers on there on the same level. Until we get our act together and stop letting ourselves be shamed, let women be unapologetic, let women think they have initial the right to be disrespectful to us. We are never going to go forward. And until we separate ourselves from that culture and that way of life and let them know that we're the head of the household, and if they don't submit to us, we don't have no attraction to them, we're going to continue to deal with the nonsense that they're trying to dish out.
Mm-hmm. Hold on for a second.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Hold on. You mentioned something, and I'm gonna ask a question of somebody real quick. Hey, amor, ¿te importa si hablo de nuestro problema con la imagen? Hola, amor. Okay.
Hola.
¿Te importa si hablo de nuestro problema con la imagen?
Sí,
Okay.
pero no hables solamente eso entre tú y yo.
Un poco. Muy importante.
No, No, no.
No, 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 no. Muy importante. Yo hablo bueno. Yo
Mm,
quiero, hablar con mis amigos. Você, diga-me para mim mente sobre o problema.
no.
Entendo? Hold on. Eu escrevo para
Sí.
você. Não, não para você. Eu escrevi para tu.
Ok.
Okay. So basically, what I'm asking her is, hold on. I want them to know how you asked me for my advice. Um, mira tu, uh, mira tu WhatsApp. Tú tienes.
Sí, tengo. Espérate, espérate, respondo.
Uhum. Mm. It demonstrates the caliber of women here in Colombia versus that of the women in the United States. Okay, so I'm having somewhat of a discussion real quick because I want to talk about something. All right. Entiendo. I wanted them to know it's one thing I appreciate about you. We're not going to hold on. I am not going to discuss the problem, but that you confided in me and wanted my advice. So, tú tienes, I mean, tú entiendo. Okay, so basically, females shun me because I'm not a thug. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and so here's the thing, and here's the greatest problem with Dr. Boyce Watkins is pushing for. All right, they are still acting like. All right, they are still acting like. Okay, so I talked to her. Mm, I want you to hear what I'm about to say. Oh, bueno. Yo quiero você escuche. Um, eh, yo hablo. Okay. So basically, all right. So this woman that's on, there was a problem at school with some work and some things that I gave her. People took her idea. She was upset. She came to a solution. Okay. And coming to that solution, though, before she came to it, she asked my advice. Understand this. She asked my advice, and I talked her out of some things, pushed her to do another thing. She came through. There was a solution, and the solution went along with my advice. In the United States, when we talk about women asking you for something, they're usually asking you to get something out of you, but not nothing to follow your guidance. I watched a show where this girl picked up a thug with multiple children, didn't have no jobs or anything. And she said to this dude that if my father does not approve of you, that I'm going to let you go. All right. And guess what? Her father did not approve of that man. You know what this daughter did? She argued with her father about all the good things this dude bring to the table when there were none coming from the point of view of a man. But she asked her father for advice, then ignored his advice. When this woman here asked me for a suggestion and I suggested it, it was not ignored. That is the biggest difference I can tell you between the American woman, the Americanized Brazilian woman, and this Colombian woman right here. That's the biggest thing I could tell you. It's something I found out today, right? That if you give advice about something, if you tell her to do something a particular way, it will not be ignored. The same way that the American BW will ignore it in the United States. This man, Boyce Watkins, want us to take up with women that not only don't respect us, but if we listen to him, won't respect us, will ignore us anyway, and still go lay with Pookie and Ray Ray. Because we ain't the real men she wanted anyway. The real men she wanted anyway was Pookie and Ray Ray. Only she can't control him. So the best she could do is get a man with a job so that she can control that man, at least financially. Because she ain't going to make life happy with him for him in the bedroom. All right. And that's the difference between these two. Remember, I said this was a propped up thing. All right. The single moms in America are a waste of time. Why? Because they're risky. They put you at risk. If you love children that much, go to Colombia, go to the Philippines, go anywhere where the women respect manhood. But you are foolish if you think that you're going to get the level of respect from a BW that's a single mom who didn't want your behind anyway, but you the last thing she could get because all the bad mistakes are about to come crashing down on her. All right. And she want to take you down with her. You don't need that. What Kevin Samuels did, again, I will repeat this, was different from what I do. I'm like the news reporter that have been reporting on all the stuff, getting all the data together and stuff like that, and telling you that there has been a crime. Kevin Samuels is like that lawyer, prosecutor. Yep, there has been a crime, but we can't prosecute them because although there's the evidence that's here, there's extenuating circumstances, and we haven't seen anything that this was something outside of, well, in their mind that the man just left. All right. And then we see on his show, yeah, they intentionally choose the bad men because that's who they love. We see on his show that they feel comfortable with choosing bad men because they're dependent on the government, and the government is their daddy, is their husband, really. All right. Then we see on their show that what they feel they have is a bunch of freedom, and so that they're free, since they're free to do whatever they want to do. And what they mean by free to do what they want to do, since they are free to do whatever they want to do without having to bear the consequences of their actions, that whatever they do causes the destruction of the Afro man, the community, and the children, but the government will always give them housing or a way out of the very thing that they do that cause other people to be destroyed, then they're free. And that's what that woman was saying. She says, we're free. We don't have to be one with the so-called black man. Why? Because they're free. What are they free from? They are free from the consequences of their action. Because in this modern society, unlike before, no one holds them accountable for any wicked thing that they do, even when they see them doing the wicked thing. But we never understood that that was their real mentality until you see a girl say it on this show. That's why they're angry at Kevin Samuels. And now it's the puppets like Boyce Watkins. It's the puppet who feels his job to beat all the men back in shape to go after these has-beens that have no respect for us, only in their twilight. I will say this. That what I'm dealing with right now ain't in their twilight. Yep, she's in her prime. All right. And that's the other thing. It seems that there's a lot more cohesion here. I might talk to her about that tomorrow, more in depth, because I'm curious about that. But that's that respect here. That if they're asking you for advice because they intend to follow it. In the United States, when a BW asks you for advice, she never intended to follow it. She's going to follow what she want to do anyway. She just feels some kind of way because, well, I asked him, but you didn't listen to anything he said. I wasn't going to listen to anything he said. I just asked him so that I was letting him know that I'm going to make a decision despite anything he has to say. And then they always want us to bail them out of the garbage they got themselves into. But no, this is over. But another key thing is happening in this war. We are no longer listening to simps like Boyce Watkins, Umar Johnson, or the rest of them clowns. People aren't following Kevin Samuels. And Kevin Samuels knew this. Brothers are paying attention to what the women are saying on his show. And because of his questioning, like a prosecutor, he is getting them to admit things that they had kept secret from us for so long. The BW has kept a lot of this secret for a long time, a lot of what's being exposed on his show. And now they're trying to backtrack. All right? And that's the difference. Brazil, around the city, it is becoming Americanized. That's why I said I was going to go to Colombia and find me somebody. It's becoming religionized also in Brazil. All right. The two things you don't want. I put this up just to be funny. All right. I kept telling people, because this is about our escape route, what I'm talking about, right? So when we're talking about our escape route, how are we going to get out of this mess? Do we understand the mess that we're in? When we look at the top most unfaithful wives in the world, America is up there. Followed Spain, Belgium, France, Singapore, Thailand, Thailand at 56%, but the highest, way more than half, at 62%, Nigeria. The most faithful wives, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Indonesia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Romania, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, China. And then you had, who else was the most faithful? Oh, that's unfaithful. Um, Nigerian, Thailand, yeah, British, Russian, America is number 8 when you go top 10 unfaithful. When you go to the most faithful, all right, the Philippines, Brazil, Japan, Thailand, Vietnam. Thailand, we're going to take out of here. Mexico, Russia, China, Colombia, number 6, Ukraine, Armenia, Spain, we're going to take out of there. Italy, India. India, I told you, hands down, is the most. India is going to meet them. And this is why I picked this group, all right? Because India, they can't go home. All right. In India, they ain't going home. Not for cheating on your husband. Oh no, you ain't coming home. You did what? You are not coming home. All right. So this is my thing. The US is at the top of the list for the most unfaithful women in the world. They're number 8 out of all the countries in the world. Nigeria is number 1 out of all the countries in the world. That means in Africa, there's 52 countries. In Europe, get rid of France, Spain, and France. You got all the Russian, Belarus countries and stuff. You got almost all of South America that's more faithful than the United States. As wives, Brazil is more faithful than the United States. As wives. All right. Their problem is when they want to get with another man, they'll divorce you behind. Because they have a high divorce rate. But while they're with you, they ain't going to get with somebody else while they're with you. But if they think that they'll divorce you, though, in a minute. All right. So you take Colombia, which is number 6 in faithfulness, and match them up to number 5 as in the least amount of divorces. Well, no, they're number 3. Least amount of divorces, then that starts to make sense to you. And Mexico, they're up there on the top most faithful and also the least amount of divorces. So y'all figure that out. I just wanted to leave y'all that. Thank y'all for stopping by. If you like what my channel brings to you, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I forgot to mention that. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. And for those of you that would like to donate to my channel, my Cash App and PayPal me is in the description box. Okay? So if you'd like to help me out in what I do across these countries and what I'm trying to do for the Afro male and Afro people in general, not the Black people, but the Afro people in general, just hit me up. All right? All right, if you want a copy of the documentation that I put down here, the stuff that is online will be in the description box. All right. Oh, the Willie Lynch letter. Okay, that's in the video. See the video I put up today. All right, so go check that out. And if you want a copy of that Willie Lynch letter, email me and I'll get it to you. All right. So with that said, I'm out. Peace, love, and soul. I'll holler at y'all later.